First of all, let's just turn on our metronome. I've put it there on screen. Make sure it's at 60 BPM and make sure it's nice and loud so you can hear it. And what I want you to do with your plectrum is I just want you to listen closely to the metronome and tap the body of your guitar in time. You can look at your metronome as well. You can watch the coloured lights. You won't be able to do that forever because eventually you're going to be concentrating on your guitar, but just get used to tapping and keeping in time. If you can do that, you're miles ahead of a lot of beginners already. So just learn to tap and stay in time with your metronome. One thing I'd like to notice about this is that you'll see that the metronome, this has a little sort of triangle shape on it, and that is making a higher sound. You can hear that it's got a higher pip there. So that is called the beginning of a bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. And notice that this bar is made up of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now, once you've tapped along and you understand that that is the beginning of the bar, 2, 3. You can maybe even tap a louder one there. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can then start to play the same thing with your plectrum on the thickest string. Let's try on this next bar. Keep listening to the metronome, checking you're not going too fast or too slow, and being really strict with yourself. When you get very good at this, you'll actually be blocking the metronome out because you're so accurate. It's common for most people to speed up and go too fast. So just keep your beat going. Okay, good. Now to get stuck into the rhythm guitar lesson. So take an A chord to start with. And what we're going to do is we're going to change from A to E. So you've been learning about this already. But now we're going to do it with a metronome. So to start with, we're going to strum and hold each chord for 4 clicks of the metronome. So we're going to start on this one with an A. 1, 2, 3, 4. And another one. Then change to E. 3, 4. Then back to A. 4, 2. Keep listening to the metronome. Strum on that 1 beat. And then to E. Now we're going to do another E, and then we're going to do a D. So D's coming up after this. Another D. Then we're going to go back to E. And another E. And finally finishing on an A. Okay, so you can hear that the metronome was making us do even strums every 4 beats. And I was randomizing the order of my chords, but the important thing is strum 2 bars, 1, 2, 3, 4, and another 1, 2, 3, 4, before you change chord. Now that's getting you used to keeping time, listening to the metronome, and changing chord at the same time. So the overall goal that I'd like you to get to, and this is the main exercise here, now you may not be able to do this straight away, is to be able to play 8 times with A, E, and D. Now what that means is with the metronome, we're playing 2 bars worth. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Change chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Change chord. Then back to A. Okay? Now, reasons why you might find that difficult. First of all, you've got to listen to the metronome and you've got to play in time. Another reason you might find it difficult is when it actually gets to the chord change, your chord might be a bit not sounding very nice. Now my advice is, the first time you do it, the first few times, you play anyway. You keep the rhythm going even if the chord doesn't sound that good. I'll just give you an example. So A, let's say the A is not that good. So you make corrections. E on the change. So it's not sounding great. Okay, but notice I kept my rhythm hand going. D. D. And I'm going to go back to A. Okay, the A's not sounding great. Let's make corrections while strumming. Oh, okay, well, keep strumming. So I'd like for you to have a practice where even if your chords aren't sounding terrific, like you're getting a bit of muting, stuff like that, you're still keeping in time with the metronome, and preferably, so that means keeping this hand going or keeping the motor running, one of my dear students once told me it was like, which is a cool way of putting it. So you keep this going whilst you're making little corrections to your chord. If you can hear it's not right, then fair enough, it takes time to get these chords, but make little corrections and clean them up, okay? If you can do that at the same time, then that's boosting how ambidextrous you are, okay? Which is a really, really cool technique to do. So that's the overall goal that I'd like for you to get to with this. And that's be able to play A 8 times, E 8 times, D 8 times, and then do that preferably round in a circle. You will be given challenges of keeping time and chord changing fast enough as well. It will feel like you're just not fast enough getting there sometimes. And if that happens, then play anyway. You can have a separate practice where you're working on getting your chord tones right without the metronome turned on. But when the metronome's turned on, it's time to keep the rhythm going and make corrections to your chords while strumming. Or failing that, putting up with the fact that it doesn't sound very nice for now and believing that in the future, obviously it will.